For years, fans have debated one question that never seems to disappear. Among Cha Eun-woo, Ji Chang-wook, and Park Bo-gum, who truly has the most enviable life? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. They are all wealthy, famous, respected, and admired across Asia and beyond. But once people look deeper, the comparison becomes much more interesting. Because the real difference between these three men isn't just money. It's how they live, how they carry themselves, and what kind of happiness they seem to chase behind the spotlight. Cha Eun-woo represents the modern image of perfection. Everything about him feels polished, calm, and carefully balanced. From the moment he debuted as part of the idol world before conquering acting, people were fascinated not just by his visuals, but by the discipline behind them. Fans often describe him as someone who feels almost unreal, handsome, intelligent, athletic, well-spoken, and seemingly good at everything he touches. But the more successful he became, the more people realized his life came with enormous pressure. Eun-woo's wealth grew rapidly through luxury endorsements, drama success, global brand campaigns, music promotions, and appearances that placed him among the highest-paid stars of his generation. Industry insiders often describe him as a premium celebrity, meaning brands see him as safe, elegant, and internationally marketable. His face alone sells products. Fashion houses compete for him. Cosmetic companies use him as the ideal standard of beauty. And because of that, his lifestyle appears extremely refined. He's often seen living carefully, quietly, and with structure. His image is clean. His habits appear disciplined. Even fans who follow him closely say Eun-woo rarely acts recklessly in public. He seems like someone who values control over chaos. But many also believe that lifestyle can feel lonely. The more perfect people expect him to be, the less freedom he seems to have to simply relax and make mistakes like everyone else. Then there is Ji Chang-wook, almost the complete opposite in energy. If Cha Eun-woo feels like a carefully sculpted modern prince, Ji Chang-wook feels like the self-made man who learned how to survive every stage of life through resilience. His path was not built on instant perfection. He fought for recognition through difficult roles, exhausting action scenes, military service interruptions, and years of proving his versatility. Fans often admire him because he feels relatable despite his fame. Financially, Ji Chang-wook is extremely successful. His years in blockbuster dramas, international streaming hits, fan meetings, and overseas popularity created enormous wealth. But unlike Eun-woo's luxury-driven image, Chang-wook's lifestyle feels freer, rougher around the edges, and more adventurous. He often gives off the vibe of someone who enjoys experiences more than appearances. People who work with him describe him as emotionally expressive, spontaneous, and surprisingly humble. He jokes easily with staff, treats co-workers casually, and doesn't carry the cold distance many stars maintain. His personality makes fans feel close to him. He laughs loudly, speaks honestly, and sometimes reveals exhaustion or vulnerability openly instead of hiding it behind a perfect image. That openness is part of why fans feel emotionally attached to him. Ji Chang-wook's wealth doesn't seem to define him. Instead, he behaves like someone who learned the value of life before luxury arrived. He travels freely, rides motorcycles, enjoys simple food, and often looks happiest when he's away from formal celebrity settings. But that same freedom sometimes creates rumors and misunderstandings. Unlike stars who maintain a highly controlled image, Chang-wook's relaxed personality occasionally invites speculation about dating, nightlife, or personal habits. Yet oddly, fans seem to love him more for it because it makes him feel human. And then there is Park Bo-gum, the man many people call the most genuinely kind celebrity in Korean entertainment. If Cha Eun-woo represents perfection and Ji Chang-wook represents passion, Park Bo-gum represents peace. His reputation in the industry is almost legendary. Staff members constantly describe him as respectful, polite, calm, and unbelievably considerate. Stories about him helping crew members, greeting staff individually, or quietly supporting co-workers have circulated for years. Financially, Bo-gum belongs in the same elite category as the other two. Major dramas, endorsements, luxury deals, and years of top-level popularity built him into one of Korea's wealthiest actors. But unlike celebrities who show off wealth openly, Bo-gum's lifestyle appears extremely modest for someone at his level. He rarely flaunts expensive possessions publicly. Instead, his image feels grounded in emotional stability, family values, and quiet success. Fans often describe him as someone who seems content with simple things: music, friendships, meaningful work, and peaceful moments away from chaos. That calmness became even more noticeable after his military service. Many fans expected him to return louder, bigger, and more aggressive in rebuilding his career. Instead, he returned with the same gentle personality, almost untouched by fame. That consistency made people admire him even more. When comparing the three men, fans often realize that each represents a different version of success. Cha Eun-woo's life feels aspirational. People look at him and think of elegance, discipline, beauty, and global influence. He is the type of celebrity who feels larger than life, almost untouchable. But beneath that image is likely immense pressure to remain flawless. Ji Chang-wook's life feels exciting and emotional. He seems like someone who fully experiences life instead of carefully controlling every detail. Fans admire his charisma, honesty, humor, and emotional warmth. He gives the impression of a man who enjoys living freely, even under intense fame. Park Bo-gum's life feels emotionally safe. He radiates calmness in an industry filled with chaos. His success appears built not just on talent and visuals, but on character. Many people believe he has the healthiest balance between celebrity life and personal peace. And strangely, this is why comparing their wealth alone misses the real point. Because wealth means different things depending on the person. For Cha Eun-woo, wealth became responsibility. Every appearance matters. Every action affects brands, fans, and expectations. His lifestyle reflects discipline because his career demands perfection. For Ji Chang-wook, wealth became freedom. After years of struggle, he seems determined to actually enjoy life instead of becoming trapped by fame. He embraces spontaneity in a way many celebrities are afraid to. For Park Bo-gum, wealth became stability. He doesn't appear driven by showing power or dominance. Instead, he values emotional comfort, meaningful relationships, and a calm way of living despite enormous fame. Fans constantly argue online about who has the better life, but perhaps the real answer is that each of them mastered a different version of happiness. Cha Eun-woo mastered elegance. Ji Chang-wook mastered freedom. Park Bo-gum mastered peace. And maybe that's why the three of them continue to fascinate millions around the world. Not just because they are handsome or successful, but because each one reflects a completely different dream about what life at the top should look like. As the conversation around these three stars continued growing online, fans began comparing not only their careers and wealth, but also the emotional energy each man carries when the cameras are off. Because the deeper people looked into Cha Eun-woo, Ji Chang-wook, and Park Bo-gum, the more they realized these weren't just celebrities living luxurious lives. They were three completely different examples of how fame changes a person. People close to Cha Eun-woo often say his daily life is far more exhausting than fans realize. While the public sees a flawless face and effortless elegance, insiders describe a man who rarely relaxes completely. His schedule is carefully managed, his image constantly monitored, and his responsibilities enormous. Every appearance must be perfect, every interview analyzed, every interaction watched by millions. Even simple things like eating at a restaurant or going for a walk become difficult because people instantly recognize him. Fans scream. Cameras appear. Videos spread online within minutes. Over time, that kind of attention changes the way a person lives. It creates caution. And many fans believe that behind Eun-woo's calm smile is someone who sacrificed normal freedom at a very young age. But despite all that pressure, he continues pushing himself. He studies scripts carefully, trains constantly, attends global events, and maintains one of the cleanest public reputations in entertainment. That level of discipline is rare. Some people admire it deeply. Others wonder whether he ever gets tired of carrying perfection on his shoulders. Ji Chang-wook, meanwhile, seems to fight fame differently. Where Eun-woo controls it, Chang-wook challenges it. He has always carried a rebellious edge compared to the polished image many Korean stars maintain. Not reckless in a dangerous way, but emotionally free. He laughs loudly. He speaks naturally. He sometimes posts random moments that feel personal rather than calculated. Fans often say he gives the impression of someone trying to protect his humanity inside an industry that constantly tries to manufacture perfection. That is part of why his supporters feel so emotionally connected to him. He doesn't seem unreachable. Even with his wealth, luxury endorsements, and massive success, Ji Chang-wook still feels like the guy who could sit beside you at a quiet cafe and talk honestly about life. Many people also admire how he handles hardship. His career was not smooth from the beginning. He worked for recognition step by step, taking difficult roles, physical projects, emotional dramas, and constantly reinventing himself. That struggle shaped his personality. Unlike stars who rise quickly through visuals alone, Chang-wook built his reputation through endurance. And maybe that's why his lifestyle feels fuller somehow. He doesn't just work. He experiences life. He travels. He disappears into nature. He enjoys freedom in ways that fans find refreshing. Some even say that out of the three men, Ji Chang-wook looks the happiest when he's away from the spotlight completely. But then there is Park Bo-gum, the one many fans quietly call the safest heart in Korean entertainment. The deeper people look into Bo-gum's lifestyle, the more surprising it becomes. For someone with his level of fame and wealth, his life appears remarkably simple. He doesn't create controversy. He doesn't chase attention aggressively. He rarely behaves like someone obsessed with celebrity status. Instead, Bo-gum seems emotionally centered. Directors often say he creates calmness on set. Staff members say he greets everyone personally, regardless of status. Junior actors describe him as comforting and approachable instead of intimidating. Even during stressful productions, he maintains patience and kindness that many people say feels almost old-fashioned in today's entertainment industry. Fans became even more protective of him after his military service because they noticed something unusual. Success had not hardened him. Fame had not made him colder. If anything, he seemed softer, more thoughtful, and even more grateful afterward. That emotional warmth is one reason many people believe Park Bo-gum's real power goes beyond money or popularity. His influence comes from trust. People trust him emotionally. They believe him. They feel safe supporting him. And in an era where scandals destroy careers overnight, that kind of reputation is priceless. Online debates about the three stars eventually became less about who is richer and more about whose life would you actually want. Some fans choose Cha Eun-woo because his life feels like luxury itself. Expensive fashion, global fame, beauty, prestige, and influence. He represents achievement at the highest level. Looking at him feels like looking at perfection brought to life. Others choose Ji Chang-wook because his life feels emotionally exciting. He appears free in ways many people wish they could be. He embraces both success and imperfection openly, making him feel more human than untouchable. And many choose Park Bo-gum because his life feels emotionally peaceful. He represents stability in a chaotic world. His success feels gentle instead of aggressive. He gives people the feeling that kindness can still survive at the top. But what fascinated fans most was imagining these three men together privately, away from cameras and media narratives. Would Cha Eun-woo finally relax around people who understood fame at his level? Would Ji Chang-wook tease both of them endlessly until they laugh like normal friends instead of celebrities? Would Park Bo-gum quietly become the emotional center of the group, listening more than speaking? People loved imagining those dynamics because, despite their differences, the three actors share one important reality. They all sacrificed enormous parts of normal life to become who they are. Privacy, freedom, trust, relationships, time. Fame gave them wealth beyond imagination, but it also demanded pieces of themselves ordinary people rarely have to give away. And perhaps that's why fans continue obsessing over them, not just because they are handsome stars living glamorous lives, but because each one represents a different answer to the same question. What does success actually look like when the cameras finally turn off?